Okay, this is Steve again, aka Paul Marks, founder of the Blue Ocean Tribe, coming at you from the end of our dock in Shoal Bay Marina, Ballard, Washington, Greater Puget Sound, with a quick video about 8 grades. 8 grades. I've kind of dropped the number down so that a very small number of people can afford to get started in this quickly and without a lot of risk capital. This is an operation that doesn't have risk reversal, doesn't use credit cards in the usual sense where you can simply charge it back and then we have to deal with refunds and with merchant processing fees and all of that stuff. We've kind of pitched all of that. But you can use a credit or a debit card. Most of these grades, however, are going to be cash or cashier's check, or bring the cash, or send the cash wrapped in a FedEx envelope carefully with a guarantee from the shipper that you're going to get your money back if the cash mysteriously disappears. We've used that successfully in the past, and this will be no exception to that process, where you send $5,000 in cash or $3,000 or whatever, and you guarantee it with a document in there that's worth that, which it is. And we're not lying or anything, we're just insuring the document, including, in part, the Benjamins that are in there. And we're going to take this up to several hundred vessels, or several hundred feet of vessels, I should say, that will then be the lever, the springboard to the 100+ vessels that we have planned for the project worldwide. So these are the 8 levels, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. You can drill down to the videos of each level. You can grab the PDF that does the explaining, the splainin', as the term is in idiomatic terms, the slang, the splainin' of each of these levels in their entirety. If you like a level, if you want that one because you're comfortable with the amount, you're comfortable with the risk assessment, which shouldn't be any, but some will see it as risk because so many of these operations come with a great deal of risk. Is it going to be there tomorrow? Are the people loyal? Will they have my back? Is this going to last? Is this going to be taken care of? Is there anything to it, or is it just a bunch of zeros and ones that's trumped up into something of value when it really isn't? All of those are questions that you have to answer for yourself. And we recommend you not rely on a third party like your financial advisor or your mother-in-law to tell you if it's okay to put money into this, because they're not going to get it. They're just not. And we're hopefully not sending this to somebody who doesn't understand network marketing, the fact that the pyramid scheme industry is $1 trillion, that's with a T, $1 trillion a year now, between network marketing and Jeff Bezos' Amazon.com and ClickBank and others, Commission Junction, you name it, it's $1 trillion. And so when people say, is this a pyramid scheme, we just run the other way. We don't have time for people who ask that question even. Never mind getting involved, never mind trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. We're only recruiting silk purses, and they, it turns out, know a lot of other silk purses, and then it goes boom. That's called viral marketing. We call it MGM, or money getting memetics. Money getting memetics. MGM's like the Grand, like the film company. It goes boom real fast. That's a warp 13 recombinant DNA engine, and it feeds itself. That means you don't have to sell it, or close, or follow up, or build lists, or any of that other stuff, at least not initially. You simply get started, and here it comes. Here comes the money quickly, within days or weeks. It's coming at you hard, and that is because we've got digital properties that don't cost anything to make a copy of, and they're backed with physical sex objects. We're selling sex, pure and simple, their own brain chemistry. People's own brain chemistry is what we're selling. That's the croc brain, that's the amygdala at the base of the human brain stem, and it's responsible for all decisions, not just buying decisions. Pretty much everything you decide on is from those brain chemicals. And if you sell them, you're selling sex itself, A lot of people say sex sells, but almost no one adds that itself part. That means a 9-year-old girl can sell it. That means a 90-year-old grandma with 12 o'clock flashing on her VCR that doesn't have a cell phone, never heard of blogging, doesn't know what attraction marketing is or any secrets or any darn thing about marketing can sell it too, just by writing a post-it note, putting it in the U.S. mail to a 79-year-old friend on the other side of the world or the country or in a different state, and she just made a whole bunch of money because it sells itself. That itself part's powerful. That's what the memetics are. So these are the 8 grades. They range from almost an embarrassing $125 total up to $64.97, which is also an embarrassingly small amount compared to the $97,000 that's at the top of this project, which is not available right now unless you qualify for putting that much money in. And we're only going to let qualified people put the large amounts in who are going to get busy and who have influence and who can take that 97,000 or the Stratofortress level, the B-52s, 52,000, and turn it into a great deal of money, which we're not going to admit we're going to do because the Securities Exchange Commission and other entities in the gov-mint don't really like us talking about how much you can make, so we don't talk about it. We just tell people what this is, and if you recognize it, that's called pattern recognition. If you have vision, if you have venture capitalism in you, if you know what it's like to put money in a horse racing syndicate when the horse hasn't been born yet, or into a building project when you haven't broken ground yet, you just have blueprints, but you know who's behind them, and you know it's going to sell out in a few weeks because, I don't know, Donald Trump decided to put his name on it, or you just look at the logic and it makes sense and you do it. That's how you should make a decision to be involved in this. It's obvious. It's a no-brainer. Who wouldn't do this? It's already proven. There isn't any risk. That's unusual. Most everything carries risk when it comes time to lay your money down, as Cher said in Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. Lay your money down if you see that it really doesn't have any risk. It's all been proven already, and it's time for you to change your stars forever by being involved in a project where it's not about you anymore. It's not about attraction marketing anymore. It's not about how big your list is. It's not about how pretty you are, or what kind of car you drive, or how well you talk on video. It's about the project itself. And that's what we discovered over 50 years of trying to figure out this recruiting space is the product has always blown chunks. I mean, really stinky chunks. And so we had to change the product to something that made the product sell itself. And that's where the sex comes in. That's what the yachts, the big ones, the plus 100-foot mega yachts, that's what the private islands, fee simple, we own them, we don't lease them, we don't have a mortgage against them, they're free and clear, they're usable by the knights that are going to come to this great big huge dance. This is, join the dance. It's high time you joined in the dance. The Dan Fogelberg Run for the Roses song. This is, I hope you dance, the Leon Womack song. I hope you dance. That's what this is. And a lot of people are not going to join the dance because they talk themselves out of it. Their mother-in-law said they shouldn't. Their financial professional said they should. Their tax man said, oh, this isn't real. Or often their significant other said, not that again. Not that pyramid scheme again, like Jeff Bezos, 100 billion this year probably. Not that again. A lot of people are going to talk their way out of it, and that's okay. Why we're targeting people who already know this industry, who've already mixed things up and made money in it, is because we're tired. We're just sick and tired of people who think they know what they're looking at and they don't. People who are still largely financially from the street. We're looking for whales. We're looking for people with intelligence, emotional, financial, and otherwise. We're looking for people who take risks, people who seize the day, who carpe diem and just do it. They don't think very much. They just make decisions quickly, and they don't change them easily. That's who we're looking for. And so here are the 8 levels. They start at 100 and a quarter. They kind of, sort of, in some respects, double. Not always, but $247 under 250. You can get started at that level. Think of them as a PBS telethon levels. Okay, you get more stuff at each level, and you can dig down and drill down and get all the goodies from each level from a different set of documents or different videos or audios. Lots of ways you can uncover what's in each of these levels. But you don't have a lot of time because these are going to go fast. There's less than 350 of them. And then they're gone, and when they're gone, all these 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 50 to 1, 100 to 1. I'm not sure how high it goes. I forget, and I've changed it so many times I'm blue in the face. And it's the Blue Ocean Tribe, so oh well. Then there's the 497 level. That's an MLM fee at 497. You know, that's kind of a no. We're still at no-brainer here. I mean, all of these are no-brainer, but for some people, they'll have to choose between levels. Most people just pick the top, especially the multimillionaires we're sending this to. It's kind of a joke. Send a $6,500 top end to a multimillionaire. They just choose the top. The people who make all the money always choose the top. They don't even think about it. They just, how much is the top? Okay, we'll do that one. And then there's the 997, and then there's the 1497. I've sold lots of products at 1497, and they were mostly air, zeros and ones. There was no physical backing. It was, not even 1% of what this is behind a 1497 product. Then there's the 3497. I just talked to a friend of mine who's done, I don't know, 20 million in the last 20 years, a million a year or more every year for 20 years in network marketing and internet marketing and video marketing. And he's my age. He's in his early 60s. And he's selling a $3,500 product that's still just mostly air, a really, really powerful channel, a really powerful funnel that people just send their $3,500 directly to him in a cashier's check daily. And some are sending 10,000 or more regularly. Also, he's made 20,000, I think, in a week, in a single week, and he's headed for 50,000 a week just selling zeros and ones, just selling digital products. They sell if they're built properly. Well, this is way bigger because it's backed by physical marketing assets. We call them ELMAs, extreme lifestyle marketing assets, and they're hundreds of times more powerful than a digital-only product. You'll find out about those in the videos. And then there's a 6,497 level. This is also one I've sold over and over again. It's not that hard to sell if you sell it to the right person. If you sell it to someone with influence, with means, that knows they can get their money back in a few days. It's not that hard to sell. And there's 47 of each of these. So we've got 329 spots. And when they're gone, they're gone. And these are going to go fast. These are going to go really fast because I've got millions of Twitter followers, and my friends who have worked with over the last 15 years that have netted over $1 billion between them, and that's just the first level. I mean, if you go 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from my friends and my associates and people I've mentored and people I've evangelized and people who've signed me up in their things and people who I've JV'd with over the last 15 or 20 years, well, it's well over $1 billion. And most of them did that themselves. I can't take credit for it, but I was involved. I tech edited for them. I promoted them without a link because I didn't care. I wasn't interested in the money that they would have paid me if I'd used my link. I just wanted them to get the money. I wanted them to be successful. I did a lot of extreme pay it forward over the last 20 years. I've had servers on the backbone for 20 years in a row, hosted hundreds of my own domains and thousands of domains for others, and pretty much all without charging for it. I didn't care. I just paid it forward. When I could, I paid it forward. And so these are going to go fast. So you don't have weeks or months to make a decision. You can't just say, when my mother-in-law comes back from vacation next month, I'll ask her permission. You can't wait until your spouse wakes up from the dead and says, yes, it's okay, honey, to put the $3,500 in. You have to decide for yourself. Otherwise, those spots are gone, and now it's more expensive, and now maybe you can't afford it, or you don't feel comfortable, and you're going to be out for good. Because this is tilt or withdraw. We talk about that from a film. There's a clip in there you can find. Heath Ledger and James Purefoy, a.k.a. the following crazy person from A Knight's Tale. Tilt like a knight, or withdraw to your cave and watch this thing streak around the globe every 30 minutes for the next 20 years, you might not get invited back. This is a very, very narrow wormhole that opened up because you got this unusual request for night ship, or RFK, request for nights. We're building a night ship here, and it's going to go boom, and you're either going to be part of it for a very small amount of money compared to what you're getting, or you're going to wish you were in the e-ticket ride on the Great Mandela, on the Yellow Submarine, on the Silver Bullet, whatever you want to call it. It's going to get big fast. And money follows speed. Money follows speed. And this is designed with whale memetics. That's the W on the front of Prince William Sound, and the M on the back. That's memetics. And when the whales call other whales, this thing fills in an hour. So don't take it with lightheartedness and, oh, that's just another one of these silly things. You need to dig this out as quickly as you can and satisfy yourself it's for you, and then lay your money down, like Cher says in the Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves song. Lay your money down and get your stake. Get your e-ticket ride. It's going to be a crazy, crazy e-ticket ride during this next 5 months of 2014. And in 2015, we climb the F list. That would be Malcolm and Company, Forbes, you know, the magazine. That one. We won't even be on it because it'll all be nonprofits, and we'll just have to piece together the 50 to 100 or more nonprofits that we have in our array and see how far ahead of Richard Branson or Donald Trump or Mark Cuban we are now. Yep, okay, we're 2 billion ahead of them now. Let's see if we can catch Paul Allen. He's a little further along. And that's the end of this video. You can drill down, you can see what each of these get you. At the top, you're talking about 100 to 1. So there's 64.97 buys you 650,000 in digital matching grants. $1 produces $100 of. These aren't ebooks, folks. These are physical assets. These are marketing framework assets. And there will be Easter eggs in every single one of these levels. That means unadvertised bonuses, big ones. Even down at a $247 level, you're going to end up with some crazy, crazy bonuses that people are like, really? I almost didn't do that, and now I'm getting this? You're kidding, right? No, that's what right place, right time, or RPRT, right place, right time logic is all about. Is if you got this call up, if you got this night tap out, we call it the night tap out, kind of like Order of the Arrow in scouting. When I was a lot younger, back in the day, we had the tap, and then tap, 3 taps. That's the 5th element. 3, which is the whole multiverse is 3s. Kind of like this distance from the sun. 1, 2, 3, goodbye. This planet that we're on. When you get the tap, you either tilt or you withdraw. And we hope you don't withdraw because there's so much here for us to offer you. And we know you have a lot to offer this. That's why you're getting the tap out. Most people on the planet aren't going to get it. Sorry. Most of them aren't. It's a very small number. There's probably no more than 500 to 1,000 that are going to get the call, and then it'll be full. Because as soon as some of the big players I know mail their lists, it's over. They all come in. Here they come. This is an open cattle call. This is not invite only at this stage. As soon as this stage closes, now it's all yacht club model or country club model, where you have to be invited by one of the players. And we have to approve you. Vetting process, even a reading across a few weeks, and then we say, yep, this one's a good one. After they put their money down. If we say no, we get their money back. We just send it back to them. And people are going to double and triple and 10 times their money. We're not guaranteeing that, but that's how powerful this is. When you get the memetics right, the money is spectacular. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It feels illegal. That's the kind of money you should be making, is money that feels like you got it illegally, because it's so much money for so little work. And this is the Extreme Play Year Night Ship, or EPIC, E-P-Y-K, and it is what it is. So this is Steve signing off from the 8. That would be the infinite character. When you lay 8 down on its side. Now I lay me down to sleep. You get the Mobius, 8 levels at 47. Only 47 in each of these. 47 is a magic number right now. I won't go into 47.net or 47.com in this conversation. That's another conversation. There are hundreds and hundreds of memes and conversation. We're going to teach all this stuff aboard ship and aboard island and aboard mountain hideaway, not on the internet. Most of this stuff is coming offline, and all these videos that you're going to see linked into this conversation are going to go poof unless you're in it. And then the only people who are going to see this are people who come to the party in person, live. And we're moving this away from the internet where everybody's crazy and nobody can really get the memetics right on the internet, because the internet is such a difficult place to learn this stuff and turn this stuff into a bunch of money. So it's going to happen in the physical world, the actual world where you can actually have sex and you can actually cross an ocean on your own boat and you can actually ride your bike on the Great Wall of China, or go to Victoria Falls instead of looking at it in a coffee table book again, or, you know, World Cup, or go back to where they had World Cup this year and go to Carnival, and then go to Mardi Gras in the same year, or go to the Montreux Jazz Festival in Montreux and hang out on Lake Geneva with one of our vessels on Lake Geneva for a month before you move on to Paris and hang out on the Champs-Élysées and the Bois de Boulogne, you know, where somebody's taken a 8-person rowing shell out on the Seine for the afternoon and jump aboard and do some rowing. It's good for you. Oxygen. You'll think of some new business ideas if you're on that shell on the Seine while you're hanging out at the Bois de Boulogne and riding Line 1 into Paris on the metro. It's one of the coolest metros in the world. Have you ever been there? It's really cool. All those museums. Once you're in the Rodin Museum, you'll wonder why you don't go back to Paris every year. This is Steve, a.k.a. Palmarks, signing off from Shoal Bay Marina in beautiful downtown, almost Ballard, Washington, Greater Puget Sound. See you on the other side.